Philadelphia. Welcome on in. It's another exciting opportunity to talk to you. That's right. From my bed, which I just laid down in. I think it worked out so well for us last week that we need to chat here again. I did bust out the peppermint mocha one more time. Listen. I got really excited because I got La Colombe today. Are you exhausted? I'm exhausted. It's one of the reasons why I'm happy to be doing this here. I got a breakfast sandwich. If you want to judge me, it is pumpernickel sausage, egg, and cheese. It's delicious. Oh, man, this thing is as delicious as Jalen Hurts is handsome, huh? Pretty privilege. Why can't we have more fun this season? We're having fun, but it just seems like every week there's a new battle of something. And yes, from last week, it's not all just media created, in my opinion. Yeah, Brandon Graham's still at fault for a lot of that stuff. But it's kind of like, all right, so here's how I want to relate it to you. This morning, when I got up, I'm recording this on the Thursday morning here. Me and my wife couldn't figure out what kind of fucking stinky smell was coming out of the kitchen, you know? On the surface, there's no dishes. The dishwasher was ran the night before. There's nothing like stuck in the air fryer. There's nothing stuck in the oven. We're peeling through every piece of like fridge and freezer. We're like, is it that? Is it the garbage? Is it underneath the table? Like, what is that smell? And if you have kids in the house, you've probably experienced this already. And we got 3 wonderful little rugrats going 100 miles an hour all the time. So you don't know. Maybe somebody's hiding like a 7-day-old cottage cheese or something. But we just couldn't find it, right? And I feel as though that is a perfect metaphor for this Eagles season. And I think you and I have been guilty of it in one way or another. And you might be thinking to yourself right now, John, I wasn't doing that. And be like, well, let's just think about this for a second. If you're anything like me, I was pounding the pavement and still kind of am saying, you know what? This team is perfect except Nick Sirianni because he fucking stinks. That's the smell in the room, and we got to get rid of it. We got to get that stink out of there. And to an extent, not only was I wrong about that smell, it looks like Nick smelled himself a little bit too. He's like, oh shit, maybe I could use a little more deodorant. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to step out of the way of this one. Kellen, you keep doing your thing. So there, I got to give him credit. This football team's playing at a high level, no matter if it's a in front, behind, and actually the data backs all that up. So again, probably not him, like we talked about. Then there's this other group of people that are always on Jalen Hurts. It's where the pretty privilege and Jalen Hurts can't throw over the middle or read defenses or all of that. All of that is right there saying that this is why this team's gonna stink right here. It's Jalen Hurts, and here's the multitude of different reasons. Some of that stink we're trying to find out is some of that stink on A.J. Brown. No, it can't be on A.J. Brown. Couldn't possibly be on him. Is the stink somewhere on the defense? Nope. The stink's not there. Well, where is this fucking smell, and how come no one can beat these Philadelphia Eagles with this fucking guy who doesn't throw 30 times a game? And I'm going to go and talk out of the other side of my mouth and praise Justin Herbert for his 16 touchdowns, 2 on the ground. And it's his fifth fucking year with a really defensive-minded head coach. One of the best probably ever, both college and NFL. One of the greatest all time is that Harbaugh. Why do we not like the way this team wins football games? Pittsburgh Steelers knew exactly what the Philadelphia Eagles were going to try to do to them. And the Eagles knew that the Steelers knew that they wanted to get Saquon going. So that's where I think the ingenious preparation from last week comes in, because they're using not only the media narrative of everybody wanting to see Jalen Hurts throw the fucking football more, they were automatically going to against the Steelers. They were automatically going to. Which a couple of weeks ago went after the Panthers game, that thought crossed my mind. Are you really going to show anything to the Panthers, especially in the passing game? No. What would it have done if for them to come out fucking 5 empty against the Panthers when they know they could just like beat them in any form or fashion, and they played dangerously close to fucking that up? I don't disagree with that. They should never do that again. But to me, I think that's part of this. And even if you disagree with that or not, they still knew that the Steelers were going to try and shut down Saquon. And if they did, maybe that does change the hearts and minds of some people on the offense or gets people frustrated. And they took all of that out immediately. All the personal shit, the business shit at the same time. Steelers did a perfect job of stacking the box and saying Saquon's not going to beat us. And then the moment that they went to too high, bang, right over the top and hit him. So they already knew. They were throwing against the Steelers. Still, it's very hard for everyone to give credit to that and to say that Jalen Hurts is still a good quarterback despite a really bumpy start in the beginning, which is fair to say because he played like absolute dog shit. But things change. Smells change. And I'm not saying that something didn't stink. It stunk this offseason. In the offseason, there were so many things being said. There were so many players players disappointed, and rightfully so. I was telling a story about Boston Scott and like that whole season and the decisions you had to make going from 22 to 23 and still wanting to be part of the ride, and then everything just kind of falls apart. DeAndre Swift comes. There's this, there's that. There's adding pieces left and right. There's infighting. It's just chaos. Chaos. To come out of that chaos, which smelled so bad, where people were probably saying things that they shouldn't have said, personal or not. But that's the stink absolutely is real, and it exists. Doesn't smell as bad, right? That fucking rotten yogurt cheese stuff that was hanging out our kitchen, it only took a couple hours. It smells a lot better in there. So invisible stink. We don't know where it came from. We don't know how it got there, but we sure as shit took into action and said, okay, let's deduce these things and let's go after it. And that's what this Eagles team has done so far. 100%. All of the critics that had to say this team isn't going to make it, I can understand why. I can absolutely understand why. If you heard some of the things that was discussed with me, and I'm not even going to tell you because I don't even know if half of it's true. But man, oh man, were there so many demands going in there. I did think AJ might have asked for a trade. I did. And you know what Howie Roseman did? Probably, at least in my mind, in my fan fiction scenario, he probably looked at everybody, looked at this scenario, whatever the personal problems were, and paid everybody and said, everybody's going to shut the fuck up. This is the NFL. This is the no friends league. This is all business. You came in as friends, y'all going to leave as business partners, and you're going to go win a Super Bowl because this fucking team deserves that. I put it together. This was my vision, and you two aren't here without me. And same for Hurts and AJ and all of that. Someone had to have this in a vision. Howie Roseman is not going to let something as personal as whatever might have happened between these two get in front of anything. And that's what we see in front of us. Two men who are pretty mature for their age to begin with. And I don't know why we don't say that about AJ Brown. That man is incredibly mature for his age. Incredibly mature. The fact that they continuously keep being more mature, answering questions directly, I think that's a beautiful thing. No matter if their friendship is together or not. Who cares if we get mad when they answer honestly. That's the media's problem. I heard of somebody, and you can tell me if you remember this. I can't remember who said it, but like someone was trying to go, hey, this isn't the media's fault. Your own player said it. Ha ta 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 ta. No. A.J. Brown said something very true. The passing game needs to be fixed. You said that. I said that. Everybody said that. Then the media jumped on that part and went, it's Jalen Hurts. And that's what probably got into Brandon Graham's ear. So no, I'm sorry. You did it. Philadelphia media did, national media did it, and I keep seeing the same things over and over again. Anybody with half of a brain knows that this situation, or whatever. I'm tired of fucking talking about it. It's been a very business-forward team this year, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody can still do their job. Everybody can still continue their lives knowing that they're millionaires and that everybody in the city and beyond that love them. So I'm not worried about that at all. There's no stink in the room. I just want to say this before we go too, and we'll have more throughout the weekend. Did you see it? I was shocked that it came that fast. I know we talked about the Eagles knowing that they were going to just do everything that they can, the Steelers, that is, to just, take Saquon out of the game. And the moment that happened, they turned on the Jets and they started passing and they didn't know what to do. That was the exact scenario that you and I discussed right before the Steelers game. I want this team to be so good and to be so scared of Saquon Barkley because that is what has been shown on film for weeks and weeks at a time, that they have to commit to him, and then it's time for Devontae and AJ to go to work. So where you thought the Steelers might have had a blueprint of like, this is how you stop the Eagles, and the Eagles would have played way different if the Steelers actually had an offense, and they don't. But if you ever get into a trap where you're going to see one of these high-end defenses, high-end offenses, yes, they can probably shoot it out with them. They've literally already done that together as a group in a Super Bowl. If anybody decides that they just want to go ahead and stop Saquon Barkley and they're like, that dude's not going to beat us, what a fucking mistake. Your best chances to still beat this Eagles offense is to take out the passing game. Still, because one, it's not that great in terms of concept yet. And just go follow Shane Haff. He will absolutely delightfully show you all the issues with the passing concepts. If you stop that and mix those two things together, Jalen Hurts' options are very limited at that point. Very, very limited. So if defenses key on Saquon Barkley, the game is over. And if they don't key on Saquon Barkley, it's a dogfight. Because, Saquon will hit a home run. It's still slower than throwing and being, and this is what I'm saying. Like, the Eagles finally went up 10-3 because they were just passing the fucking ball in the first quarter, passing the ball because the Steelers wanted them to. Whoops. They'll just score fucking quicker and then they'll suffocate you because their defense is too good. This team's amazing, guys. It's just not polished and it smells a little. All right? I'm going to bed. I'm taking a nap. You should too. We'll talk about the Commanders when they fucking matter. Go Birds.